Season 3 of the Hood Health Report. It's your girl KV.
And Celine.
And today we've got a topic that has been blowing up lately, and that is artificial intelligence and all of the things that they are trying to do in the nation, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. A lot of AI developers are deciding that the AI business is very dangerous and they aren't able to keep up with artificial intelligence. This is partially because as AI is developed, it's trained. So as you're training the AI, it can become smarter than a human. As you teach it certain aspects, it learns and it grows from there. A lot of the AI developers for big companies such as Google have said their piece about how AI can cause these issues. However, a lot of the companies want to continue to develop this product because they feel like it can help more than it will hurt. How do you feel?
I think it's crazy that the Godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, he literally said that he regrets his life work. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that should give everybody a major pause when it comes to AI. If the person who literally developed this and spent decades of their lives to these companies, to this technology, is now saying, hey, I want to step away from my job in this big fancy position that runs all of this AI stuff because it's about to get out of hand and I don't want any parts of it. So he had to quit his job, and I'm sure there was some legalities of what he could say and what he could be affiliated with as far as interest groups go. So him quitting his job just so that he can be able to warn us, basically, it is very much Black Mirror, which we will get to towards the later part of our episode. Refer to AI as the new internet. Basically, we won't be able to go backwards. We won't be able to have a life where there is no AI or minimal AI. It's just going to increase from here. And there are a lot of jobs and a lot of fields that heavily benefit from AI, whether it's research jobs and things like that to crunch those numbers and automate certain programs so that we don't have to. So it can be beneficial in some realms, but like I said, it can get out of control fast. So there's that.
Yeah. The Godfather of AI also said that he's worried about the future of the technology, and he thinks that it just poses a threat to humanity because it's unexpected behavior. You can't necessarily control what AI picks up. I mean, they're trying to, but it's almost to the point where if AI is developing, they can't wipe out what it's already learned. Mm-hmm.
And so that brings me to one of the, I guess, real life applications of it is the movie Megan. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what was happening in the movie. So if you guys are not familiar, there's this movie Megan where little girl's parents die. She gets not inherited, but what's the word?
She gets adopted. Yeah.
Little girl's parents pass and she has to be adopted by the aunt. The aunt is not really a caretaker. She don't know what to do with this child, but she's a technology and toy developer. So she has Megan, or what they have been making on Megan, to pitch to the boss. But she said, well, if I can pitch it to my niece and it actually works for her, then that'll be even better to pitch it to the boss for. So it had like the basics of, okay, this is what you need to know to be her companion, to protect her. But as you said, AIs, they train on different conversations. They can, be given topics and information for them to look up themselves to, like I said, train on this information. So Megan started getting smarter and smarter throughout the movie. In the beginning of it, they could be like, Megan, power off. And she, power off. Mm-hmm. But after a while, they'd be like, Megan, power off. And she'll be like, no, I see there is a heated conversation. And I need to make sure this little girl is okay because that's why I was programmed. So in the beginning of the movie, they were able to say, Megan, power off. And she would just kind of shut down. But towards the end, she was wise enough to realize that a heated discussion was going on, and her sole purpose was to protect the little girl. So if she felt like there was some type of danger to that little girl, she did whatever needed to be done in her mind to, get that challenge out of the movie when the lady was confronting her like, Megan, you're killing people. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. Megan straight up said to her, humanity kills every day just to make its own existence more tolerable. Why should I behave any differently to create a safe space for our child? Like, that's what the robot said to her. So it's literally, you know, AI they don't get the semantics of situations, of confrontations to know what's a true danger and what's a daily challenge. They don't have those soft skills that humans have. So this is the dangers that we could face when it comes to AI.
And KB, you said something interesting when you were talking about Megan. You said her mind, and I don't even think you caught it, but like basically with intelligence in general, it's almost like it has a mind of its own. And I think that's what the Godfather was really trying to hit at. It was like, as this continues to develop, we're going to see more and more of it taking on its own personality, it doing its own thing. Even though we're trying to train it to do one thing, it's only so much that we can filter out where it's not going to have its own like spin on certain topics.
And with that, it takes on some of the feelings and beliefs of the people that also train it. So if that person is a racist, they might unknowingly, inherently put this racism into the machine. Whether it's, I think one of the articles talked about they didn't have any black people. The machines weren't scanning black, weren't using black pictures or black speech or black faces to train these AI tools, so they don't get the semantics of, you know, AAVE, you know, African American vernacular. They don't really get that. So, and that's the thing with Facebook and Twitter now. How people's profiles are getting suspended or taken down because they're saying something that's very much black lingo that if a computer sees it, it's like yeah,
what's that?
Yeah, what's that? Like how people, like how the generations will say, dang, will this be flagged?
They don't have Twitter jail no more, so I guess
you can't say. I know, like the thing that always gets me out of Twitter, and I guess, you know, it's not a good thing to say anyway, but I mean, people know that nobody's literally out here doing this. I always say people stone people. They had this little, what was the first thing? It was a dog, and they had cut the dog's hair into the shape of a booty, and I was like, they should stone these people that did this, and Facebook took my look.
Yep.
I was suspended for like a week. So it'll be a lot easier if the machines knew these type of lingos and these type of things, and they don't think of, oh, somebody's gonna literally go outside and stone someone. So that's one of those things where you can't train the AI on. You can overtrain it on certain things, but you can't train it on those soft skills.
And yeah, to like more so go into what you were saying, also in one of the articles, it came up like as far as pictures that they use for certain things, like a CEO, you won't see a woman CEO. You always usually see a man CEO. Or if you type in a boss, you're not going to see a black person or somebody with dreads or something like that. You're going to see a certain, like what they would suspect a boss to look like, which is kind of harmful because you can't sit there and put everybody in that one box. And that's what they're saying is the biggest like issue with AI is because, okay, of course you can train it, but if you add so many different pictures, then you have to like keep on trying to filter out certain things. So it's like, how do they figure out where the best medium is for like, you know, what the AI is learning or what it's trained to see everything as?
And so another thing, well, the main reason I guess why the Godfather stepped down is he refused to take Pentagon funds because he didn't want to build robot soldiers. And it seems that he had previously, multiple times, he switched jobs or, you know, quit his job so that he would not be the one that has to create these robot soldiers, or he, you know, went to Google or something like that so that he wasn't forced to do it through other means, because when he was working for the university. But with that, more than 1,000 tech leaders and the 19 leaders of the Association of the Advancement for AI all have concerns. So even more people outside of him that work in this field, that have dedicated their lives to this, are kind of on the fence about where's the next step and if it's okay to actually proceed with AI. Now, the thing about AI is, you know, we're so used to it that, like they said, it's like the internet. We can't go back from it. I like to call, I guess what you would say is AI, I like to call them the phone feds. So like how right now we're having a conversation about something. If somebody says, oh, I want to go, like I want to buy a trampoline. I want to go buy a trampoline next week. You
pull
might
up
get
on
home tomorrow and get on Instagram and they have an ad for a trampoline. And it
gonna pop
happens all the time. I kind of did an experiment when in my last job. I would take my phone into meetings and we would talk about random stuff, and then I would see if I would actually get those ads. And I really would get those ads from stuff that I never said, or you know what I mean, that I never put into the phone rather. So yeah, the phone fads are real, but at this point, we're so used to them when it comes to the recommended posts, whether it's TikTok or
you click on it, it say cookie. You just click the cookie.
we train our phones to do exactly that, find the things for us. So it's very much a catch-22 when it comes to AI. Microsoft recently launched a AI bot to go along with its Bing search network. So now Google is feeling the pressure to do the same. So I'm guessing that was kind of the rush that pushed him on out, that made him want to leave. But the thing about Microsoft creating this AI bot is Bing is terrible. It is a terrible search engine. When I search things on Bing, it's literally like page 3 of Google, like the overlap stuff that doesn't really correlate. Yeah. So it's like a terrible search engine. So I can see where Google is like, if they're trying to launch this to be the thing, you know what I mean? We need to get ahead of that and get it done right and give it to the people. So, yeah.
You know what I wonder sometimes too about the Godfather leaving the AI business? You know how he said he didn't want to like help with making the robots and stuff of that nature? I sometimes think to myself, it would be better if somebody like him was in control of it, because like he said, this is going to continue to happen. So it's like now that he's not in that position, you're going to have somebody else come into that position. And what if their mindset about AI isn't as similar as his mindset? Where if it's like, oh, well, they think more of like, we want technology to advance. It's kind of like a good and an evil, because I get where he's coming from, like not wanting it to be necessarily on him that they're creating stuff, but either way it's going to be created.
Right.
I feel like, so when you rather yourself be in that position to have like a little bit more control over how that situation is playing out, instead of just completely stepping away from it and giving it to somebody else who might not have the same views and thought process about like how like the values and stuff like that, because that just brings me back to like when we were talking about Black Mirror and stuff like that. Like sometimes people get advanced technology and their mindset about it is like so off that it's really like one of those things where it could have been, you could have did something more to help than, you know, just stepping away completely from the whole business.
Well, with that power and that responsibility, with such a task, you have to think about the danger with it.
Yeah.
So it's like he could be in there creating some things, and then they tell him to put this, you know, evil wiring in there, and he has this moral code to where he's like, oh, I refuse to do that, and they kill him off.
Yeah,
and
you just never know.
Yeah, they do these because they've done it before. They've done it for less important things. So with AI technology, I could totally see them forcing people to do things that they may not be morally okay with. So then they do just get the person that wants to get the job done, regardless of how it makes you feel or how it affects people, because those people are out there because it's gonna get done anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
like one of those things where it's almost to the point where it's like they're gonna continue to press forward with it. That's what they're continuously saying. Like either way, whether or not he's in the business or even the other people that have concerns, they're gonna continue to like see how they can press AI, because that's the new wave. That's where they want the future to go with the artificial intelligence.
So this next article was hilarious to me because I did hear some different songs that people had generated from AI. The first one that I heard was a Kendrick Lamar-like song where they literally, you know, fed the AI machine all of his lyrics and interviews, songs, and they came up with a song that very much sounded like it could be a Kendrick Lamar song. So I don't think he ever really responded to that, but they also did Drake, and they made him rap the lyrics to what's the Munch. The lyrics to Munch, and he was fed up.
That was too much for him.
That was too much.
He said, hey.
That was the last straw.
I already unfollowed her on Instagram, so why y'all making me have Munch covers? I don't want that.
Trying to fuel the rumors. So with that, also Universal Music Group is calling out the fraud. They want for these streaming platforms to take down the music. People shouldn't be able to profit off of someone else's likeness. So if you're putting a Kendrick Lamar-like song on Apple Music for everybody to buy, then those AI creators just pocket all of the money versus the actual artists getting paid from their talents. So Universal Music Group, if you're not sure who they represent artists like The Weeknd, Ariana Grande, and Nicki Minaj. So it's a big music group, and they are very concerned about the lengths people will go to not have to pay artists. So currently, no regulations exist that dictate on what an AI can or can't train on, but the U.S. Copyright Office has made some changes to try to make it a little harder. And they've also asked for like the general audience's buy-in on it. So I don't know how they would do that, but them being able to be like, hey, should this AI song be copywritten by these people that created this song, and seeing exactly how the public responds to it, because as far as their stringent rules go, they don't know what to pull from that.
So I've listened to a couple of the songs. They're actually all very catchy, and they do sound like it could be that person. They have one with Weeknd and Drake in it. That one was really good. They had the Drake Munch one. I listened to that one. I've listened to a couple of them. I'm like, this is very convincing. Like, if I didn't know better, I would be like, wow, Drake was in the studio really doing his thing. He was doing his big one with that one. So I'm like, I can see why they want to take it down, because if it's like, especially for me, like my younger brother and me, we were just going through listening to him. We were really like, oh, I would listen to this like on the radio. Like, I would be like, okay, I'll be tuned into this. So I can see why they're so like concerned about people like getting the songs, how it could affect the artist, because some of the lyrics are not what they would say.
Exactly.
It's like so off. It's like, wow, this is real left field, but I mean, it's still very catchy. So I can definitely see the issues why they would call it fraud. I think if they are going to do it, then they do need to have like a little bit more of like a regulation where maybe they like, it's kind of hard, because it's like the reason why people like it so much is because it has that Drake feel, it has that Weeknd feel, it has that personal feel to it. So if they change the voice on it, I don't know if it would have the same effect. It's more so the fact that it sounds like the person that they want it to sound like, which can be damaging to their, career as well. Be okay.
Rest or be wherever they at, wherever you believe. But no, I am not here for, because I know that's going to be the next step. Like, I'm sure nobody will
do Michael
even in real time. But
this is like a conspiracy thought process. Drake has a song with Michael Jackson. I feel like maybe that's a little AI too, because I don't know if he ever made that one. I know y'all know what song I'm talking about too.
I don't.
It's on his album. What album is that? Is it Scorpion? No, yeah.
Drake make too much music for me.
It don't matter with that one. I'm gonna find a song. We're gonna play. We're gonna have a little clip.
Now Michael Jackson did like drop a whole lot of verses, a whole lot of like urban things that just stayed in the vault that some artists say they have, but no, Drake, I'm sure he wouldn't have gave it to you. So
I'm just saying. It's on the album, and that's my thought. It might be AI. It might be. We'll never know.
The world will never know. So, of course, these music groups and a lot of people liken these things to deep fakes, frauds, and of course, denying artists their due compensations. It could also affect visual artists as far as painters and photographers, I think the most. Because if you're able to just create a Basquiat looking painting and sell it, you know what I mean? And who is this person? Like, what if the person doesn't even know they're buying an AI picture versus like some, special edition Basquiat that they've had in the vault for however long. So there's also a lot of dangers with that. And even Joe Rogan had expressed some displeasures about the same thing after they created a whole podcast, a fake podcast using the AI tools from his, previous podcast episodes. So that's crazy too, because I didn't even really think about it in that sense. And I'm like, Lord, what if somebody try to AI?
They could.
They could really have us in here saying some wild stuff.
You just never know. Like, they could really piece it together, and then we could be out here saying whatever.
That also made me think about, what was the Beyonce, the grown woman video? Granted, the AI wasn't that great on there, but it was still creepy nonetheless, where they had like videos and pictures of young Beyonce singing the lyrics to the current song. So it could get crazy with all of the AI.
Exactly. Not just for celebrities, but anybody in general. Like if it was trained enough on you, it could really impersonate you or become what that person wanted to be of you. It's almost like a catfish.
Technically, yeah.
The loss of jobs for artificial intelligence. So how do you feel about artificial intelligence taking over jobs?
I think it's a bad thing. Like, we don't want to eliminate the workforce and just have machines running everything. It takes me back to McDonald's was the first, one of the first restaurants to implement the ordering boards, where you just walk in and there's these kiosks. There's these kiosks where you put in your meal and everything, and it might be one, maybe two attendants around just to make sure, I guess, no fries burn up, and people are actually paying, things of that nature. But yeah, everything was pretty much run by the robots, which could eliminate a lot of jobs where that's a problem. We need more jobs, not less jobs.
Yeah.
So.
And that also makes me think about like stores like Kroger, Target, and stuff like that. 'Cause in my younger days, that's where I used to work. I used to work at Target. And we started getting to the point where you didn't even need like a person to be a cashier, because you have everybody else. They want to do self-checkout anyway. So like you just have one person up there watching, make sure people are somewhat checking out. So it's like we are going to see a lot of jobs decline that people could use and have. I feel like if AI is going to take over, which is the way it's leaning towards, I do think there should be like some kind of median where like people are getting some kind of income, because if not, it's just gonna go to like the source of the maker, and then everybody else that can't get a job or doesn't have like skills that are that AI can't take over. What are those people gonna be left to do? Like I don't know. I feel like it has to be like some median with AI as far as jobs, and like how many AI machines they can have in a building versus people that actually work the job.
So one main benefit that they cite is AI saves time and resources. So you don't have to worry about lunch breaks. You don't have to worry about different shifts or people clocking out. You can just run that machine as long as there's somebody there to watch it. So if you just have one person that you got to change out on a shift versus 15, people are seeing that as a plus and thinking about doing away with physical human breathing employees. And the World Economic Forum reported that 14 million jobs will disappear in the next 5 years due to AI.
And it's already tough out here with the job market, man.
Already.
Yeah. And then some of the fastest like jobs that are declining, like I said, are cashiers, bank tellers, data entry clerks. So all those people that have those jobs are more at risk of losing a job in the next 5 years.
And the craziest part I saw about this when I was researching the topic was an AI robot doing lashes.
Oh, yeah.
I would never let an AI robot.
I love my lashes.
On my eyes. Like, I'm too afraid to get LASIK to let a doctor go to my face and slice open my eye to make me see better. So I damn sure would not let an AI have some glue and sharp materials trying to put some lashes on my face. So that was a wild one. But then when I saw another one, I was like, dang, I wouldn't let the robot do my lashes, but I would let the robot do my nails.
Wow. Oh, you don't think it might accidentally drill too deep into your nail?
I wouldn't let them do no drilling. I get
Okay.
But when it comes to the painting and designs, I'm like, go ahead, etch it on there.
Well, I
in
mean,
5 seconds versus my nail tech taking 5 minutes.
Yeah, you see what I wonder about that too, though? But they charge you the same amount because, a lot of time with like the nail designs, they say, oh, we're charging this much because it takes us so long to do your nail design. So if the price was significantly lower, I feel like a lot of people would be inclined to actually try that one out. Now, I'm with you with the lashes.
Absolutely.
I like getting my lashes done. I don't think, when I saw the video, I was like, there's no way I would ever ever let a machine go towards my eye with the lash stuff. No, But I did see also on there the reason why it was kind of more convenient was that it can remember certain lash styles, which is like, you know, a lash tech can kind of, you can say, hey, recreate this one time, but it might not be the exact same. So, you know, you get that great feel. You be like, oh, this is perfect. And now I can remember that I had that. Yes. So, and it's like, it's not even
like,
just,
put your fingerprint in for your set.
and it's not even just at that one location. You can do it at any location. So it's like, let's say I'm in Atlanta. I want to get my lashes done in Atlanta. I ain't got to make sure my lash tech in Atlanta. I can just go into the machine and she got the feel.
Like, this is my settings.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I mean, I don't know if I'm sold on it yet, but I do think that might be a reason why people would want to go ahead and, you know, do it.
Yeah, there was one thing that they cited was that the AI could do a lot of complex decision makings or being able to replicate something exactly. So I can see the appeal in it in some ways, but the humanity of it is where I still couldn't jump on board.
Yeah, they said that it could possibly be to the point where it could do two eyes at one time, so it saved time on that front. And then also the only other thing that I was like, you know, it doesn't sell me yet because they're saying that the price would be about the same. So I'm like, if it's gonna be where it's way easier for them to complete the task, then I think the price should be either dramatic. Well, I guess the reason why they do that is because it's convenience. They always
you still gotta pay for the machines.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
those machines are
expensive.
I'm sure. So you still have to pay for that stuff. So I could see the price probably going up, but the time probably in half.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. They're trying to work that convenience angle. And they said that right now they still have to have like a lash person come in and like clean it all up. So I'm like, at that
still
point,
gotta have that human accuracy.
Yeah. It's not perfect. So outside of like just job loss, they're thinking that AI can help with security threats or helping the society in some ways about protecting people. So how do you feel about like AI protecting people and like, you know, being used to make the world a better place?
Nope, that's what Megan was invented for. And she was out here killing everybody in the neighborhood, killing the neighbor's dog, just killing anybody that gave that little girl friction. Whether the little girl recognized it as friction or not, she was out here killing kids, ripped that little boy ear off. A little boy was picking on her at a little camp or something. For one, I'm sorry, I gotta go on a tangent about this movie right quick, because it was just like, girl, you know what this AI is capable of. Why would you let it go out there with that girl at the camp? Everybody thinking it's a little girl until she turned around. They're like,
what's going on?
That is a machine. And that little machine attacked that boy and he got ran over and it was gone. So yeah, no, that's what I think about AI protecting anything.
So you don't think that it could be, well, the reason why I say that is because in this one article, it basically was showing AI and they were pulling it up, basically recreating like crime scenes and stuff like that. So the AI could, like, let's say somebody got into a car accident and the cars moved, they take pictures and stuff before, they could recreate the scene to kind of figure out like how, put all the missing pieces together. Same thing with missing people. So like if somebody like came up missing out of a certain spot, they could just recreate that last scene and then use the AI to like, either recreate the crime scene or try to figure out how that person got from this place to wherever they are now and try to help with finding missing people. You don't think that is possible, or that might be something that, for a good cause?
It's like an AI detective.
Yeah, basically, like an investigator.
I could see an AI investigator.
Okay.
Being there to assist people with said things, especially when it comes to, like you said, that recall or reenacting how things were.
Yeah.
Because you can't reenact a car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't.
And this also, like, people's perspectives might change. So, like, let's say I got into a car accident. I might be like, oh, no, I did not run that red light. That person definitely was speeding through and hit me. But if you have it, like, on the AI thing, then even if that's, like, your memory or your recall, then maybe the AI can, like, possibly be like, okay, well, no, that because of the way this is set up, then no, this is exactly what kind of happened.
As far as, like, miles per hour when you hit this, how you go flying, things of that nature. I guess I could see that AI augmented type of, reality to assist in detective type skills.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was my thought process on that. I mean, the only other thing is that it is like what they were saying is that it's very impressive and that it can almost look very realistic as far as how they could set it up or make the design so that way everything kind of falls into place and it's very easy for people to recreate the crime scenes. It's like a big crime board. You know how they have like but it's like 3D. Yeah, but it's like 3D. And when I was looking at it, I was like, that does seem like it would be like way cooler to and reenact crime scenes.
You just one of them people that like to watch all them crime junkie shows and all those murder mystery stuff.
It just made me think about Power of Ghosts, how they have people on the wall. They're trying to place it all together. I feel like if they had
AI would have leaked it a lot quicker.
The AI person would have been and put the whole story together, and we could have just wrapped the whole season up, and it could have been done. But who am I?
Did you use the Lensa app that everybody was using? That you had to put, I think, like 10 pictures into, and it gave you these whimsical, fairy-looking like pictures.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. And actually, surprisingly, no, I did not do it. There was 2 reasons why I didn't do it. I kind of do pay attention to stuff like that. So I really sit there and read some of the stuff because I'm like, a lot of people are doing this very quickly and I don't know about that. But I think it says something along the lines of like, you lose your rights to the photos as you send the pictures. I'm like, I'm not trying to lose my rights to my photos. So like, I did not do it. But I have friends that did it and I have friends that, I think you did need like 10 pictures. So I saw how it worked, and then I think also you had to pay for it. I'm like, why am I paying to give you my pictures so you can
paying for you to take my data?
I'm like, no, I could just get on like one of those little filter apps and make my own little cartoon person, whatever. But
it reminded me of when people was using the app to turn themselves old, make themselves look old, and I didn't do any of the Lensa, the old people looking one.
It's even like a celebrity thing too. Like it's like they're taking your photo, they're scanning it, and then what are they doing with this information? I don't know. So,
and the fact that they have these facial markers that they kind of notate where on your face your ear is, how your nose is placed, and all of these things like that. And my first thought process was, wow, y'all gonna be doing this, and then you're gonna get on Twitter one day and see a profile that's your picture, all of your information, all of your things that you've been given to these apps, and they're gonna have you as some White Lives Matter person, some black girl as a White Lives Matter, because I've seen it before, where a girl was like, this is not my profile, and da-da-da, a few years ago, where they literally had her like with all these Trump tweets and saying that Obama was this and people ain't did this and black people that, and it got back to her like somehow, I guess somebody that she knows was like, girl, there's this account with your picture on it, and it got back to her and she's like, yeah, I don't know where this came from. That's my picture. Like, it's a picture of me. It's a little different so that it can't get ran through like that Google image search. So that's another thing about the AI is those pictures can't be searched through Google image. So it also gives it that like an anonymity. It makes it anonymous on where it's tracking from if you're trying to figure out who's cloning.
Who's pulling this up, making this of me.
Exactly. So that was always my biggest fear is like, y'all giving all these apps, y'all pictures, y'all gonna look up one day and it's gonna be a Facebook or a Twitter profile, you just out here blurting nonsense. So I absolutely
like I said,
take no part.
Yeah, I just feel like it creates catfish. Like, and that's what I was getting at too, is because you know how it said it takes the 10 pictures, but from those 10 pictures, it can make like multiples or hundreds of different backgrounds, you doing different facial expressions, you in different places. So it's like this person can take 10 pictures off my Instagram if they really wanted to. And then they can go on there and make a whole different life for Celine, and what am I gonna do? I don't know, that's just weird to me.
Just have to deal.
Yeah, and it creates like a whole, one of the words that kept on coming up was like deep fake, where it's just like, basically it can become a threat to society because you don't know what's real and you don't know what's fake. You can't really tell the difference. It's a lot of these AI photography websites and stuff of that nature.
Yeah, they've had deep fakes of where, it'll be presidents of other countries telling them to surrender to whoever they're at war with, and people can't tell the difference of if this is really him or if this is AI that's, pushing this propaganda out. And so, they always claim that, oh, when you give these AI tools and these apps and things, your pictures, the benefit of it is, for us, I've heard at least, you're training the AI on black faces. So they try to, make that a thing, which it does, but training them to do what with black faces?
Right.
Because we've already seen instances where they've used facial recognition to target people for crimes, and then years later we realize, oh, that shit was wrong. This man is innocent. Let's release him. So it's like they're claiming, well, that would help because we'll be able to better fine tune the AI markers to find the black features on faces to be more accurate. But it's like, you can still use that to your advantage to disadvantage the black community and make us guilty for things that we had no parts of. So once again, I'm against this one. I'm against this.
And then also with the AI photography, I just want everybody to know, if you do have it on your phone, if you think like that you have it deleted, you actually have to go in and delete the account, not just delete the pictures off of the account, because it still has the data. So if you are using it or you feel like, I don't necessarily want my information to be on there anymore, make sure that you're realizing that you don't just delete the pictures, you have to delete the whole account in order for everything to be wiped away, which, even with that, it's like, is it really wiped away? I mean, we'll never know.
Right.
But
they got a lot of back and forth with that in the article. Like, well, they could just delete their pictures from the account, but it's like they've already been processed and you already have...
it's already been trained.
It's already been trained on your face. They already have markers where it's not a picture of your face, but they have the metrics of your face over here. So they don't even need the pictures anymore. They've already got your face processed and uploaded to their servers. So even still, it's like, with the Lensa photos, how they have your facial markers and can recreate pictures of you. This next article is saying AI images generators can be an emerging cybersecurity threat. And they say it may look like fun to do these pictures and to get all these things done that, you'd never be standing on a mountain as a pink and blue person. So yeah, AI could definitely help with things like that. But it also the social engineering. So the first thing that they have as a cybersecurity threat is exactly what I said, creating those fake social media profiles. They said one of the cases where this happened, it wasn't necessarily an image, but a blogger, well, it was an image. The blogger had uploaded an image on their post, and somebody came, a law firm, sent them notice that they had to take this picture down. Not just take the picture down, but also pay some type of fine. And comes to find out, it was not a real company. They used AI to generate the entire website that made them look legit. The pictures of the lawyers were AI. All of the information was used through an AI engine to create. So this person, almost got scammed out of however much money they claimed was the fine, because these scammers went to great lengths to set up these things. So that was definitely the first one that they mentioned. The second one is charity scams. So they were taking like fake earthquake pictures. Like they always do this, like when an earthquake or a natural disaster happens overseas, we'll end up seeing a picture, and then say a couple of weeks later, if you pay attention, you'll see that same picture, but they've like photoshopped this a little hurt person in the picture. And now these pictures are up on GoFundMe's or different charity sites to say, oh, we need money for this. But it's like, it ain't the situation that you're trying to get money for is personal. It's not.
It has nothing to do with what's going on. You just made this whole thing up.
Exactly. So those are the first. So the third one is deep fakes and disinformation. So like I mentioned with the president with the fake video, they've done things like that, or they've done fake Morgan Freeman videos. I've seen those floating around where they just have him saying the most ridiculous things because, he plays movies always as God. So they have him just saying the most ridiculous things that Morgan Freeman absolutely would not be saying in front of a camera, at least. So that's one thing. And then the fourth one is ad fraud. So they'll get these mock-ups or these pictures of these things that they're selling or these shady products and have people to purchase them and, order this and promote it, and then it's not a real thing. Or they'll have like a celebrity picture using that, and that celebrity never endorsed their product. So that's another thing that they see as a cybersecurity threat is the ad fraud.
Yep. Man, it's going to be hard to tell what's real and what's fake. I think they need to make, I guess another regulatory thing that they should do is like have on there if they use AI software. But I feel like a lot of times people wouldn't like that. I think that goes back to like even with filters and stuff like that. People don't necessarily like the fact that it says that it was filter or that it was a filter on this. But I think it might be something that needs to happen just so people are aware that it was artificially, modified. Only can AI be used as for like photography and things of that nature. It can also be possibly used for mind reading purposes. So they are thinking that AI can be used to detect like brain signals. So let's say somebody, got into like an accident, they're not able to respond and stuff of that nature, then they can like take certain signals that their brain is producing and be able to place words with it. They've been doing a little bit of research with it. It's not necessarily like the best that it could be yet because sometimes it picks up the wrong phrases. So let's say somebody is trying to say, the ball is over there. It might just catch the ball and like not necessarily know how to say over there and other words. So they're having a hard time making the phrases come together, but they think it's very, groundbreaking because the fact that people aren't able to speak and now they're able to like catch those signals and possibly train AI to be able to like step in with a person who is just like unresponsive. They think that it might be something that is worth, further developing.
Right. And the first thing that caught my attention from this article was it's saying that this new decoder would be able to put together a continuous stream of text because the things that we see these days where it might be, I can't remember what movie it was, but there was some movie where a guy was in a wheelchair. He wasn't really able to speak. He had this speaking box that could, figure out his brain activity and spit it out. But it wasn't a continuous string. Like it couldn't pull together a full sentence. It might be like the chips in the refrigerator. You know what I mean? It was very computer sounding and things like that. So yeah, AI could definitely help to smooth out that text and to form that full sentence because they said, like you said, they're just getting the semantics, the gist of what is being said versus the entire meaning of the sentence and, some type of direction of who is going to. So that was very interesting.
Yeah, and it says it's going to be non-invasive.
Yeah, that was the part that really got me. I was like, oh, okay, it would be non-invasive, but like back to the phone feds. And I talked about
That's what I'm saying.
It just seems like a super duper advancement of the phone feds. Because like I said, sometimes with my phone, I don't even say stuff out loud. I can be thinking like, what am I gonna get for dinner today? I get on Facebook and it's showing me ads for the local restaurants around. I didn't even say, oh, what am I gonna eat? Or I'm hungry. It just already knew, like, she's probably hungry. Yeah. That's why I'm like, I be wondering,
that time.
like, what are these phone feds really doing to us? Especially for people like myself. I've had an iPhone for forever. So this iPhone probably knows me better than I know me because it's predicting when I'm hungry and showing me the restaurants and knowing when I need things, and it's creepy. It's creepy. And so to train on this AI decoder, it was a very intense learning process. They had 3 volunteers who laid in a scanner for 16 hours listening to podcasts and different things so that they can kind of create that baseline of, we know what you're hearing, so we know what it's supposed to sound like when your brain is decoding it, so that they can then put them into these scanners while they're listening to news stories or thinking up new stories themselves, to see how accurate the system is with getting that continuous flow of material versus here and there, these are the words that's said and this is how we think it streams together. So that was it was interesting because they're doing this for a good reason. So it was very interesting that they're able to do this, especially non-invasively. But this article, all of this,
you know what that makes me think of? Because you know how you say it's for a good thing? It can also be used for a bad thing.
Exactly. It brings me to the show Black Mirror, y'all. And That show is so creepy. So I kind of took a few notes, kind of notated a few different episodes that were directly related to AI information, and just kind of wanted to pose the questions of, would you really do these things? So the first one that was very interesting, season 1, episode 3, the history of you. So people were getting implanted with microchips that recorded everything that they see and hear. The creepiest part about that was when he was at the airport and he was getting on the flight, and they were like, all right, show me your last day. And he had to scan it up there, and they went through what he did. All right, show me your last week. And it's like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, in that sense, it's like they're trying to make it like, oh, we're going to get the terrorists, out of here. They're trying to make it as a good thing, but at the same time, it's something that's always recording you.
No privacy.
No privacy. And in this show, like, the guy found out that his wife was cheating on him because of the microchip. He ran back her memories.
Oh, I remember that episode. I was like, oh, this so
ran back her memories because he was like, she a little too chummy with this dude over here. Ran her memories back and saw that they indeed had some type of interactions. And the part that stuck with me from this episode was when they were discussing at that party that he first saw them at. They were talking about being microchipped and how it is living and how it is dating. And the one girl, she was like, well, I'm not chipped anymore. I was attacked and it was gouged out. And one lady, the one that was like the proponent for it, she was trying to recruit everybody for it. She said, don't you know that half of your organic memories are junk? And I had to think about it, and I'm like, it really is, because sometimes you see stuff as an adult and then you think about how it was when you were a child and you saw it completely differently just because you're a child. Or things like what they call the Mandela effect, how we remember something one way and now that we're adults, it's like, that didn't happen at all. The main one that I always see is the Shazam versus the Kazam movie posters, and people really get confused and start to say, yeah, no, Kazam was a movie and da 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 da. This is how it was, but it's like, no, it was Shazam. But it's like something that simple could alter a lot when you really think about it in the grand scheme, depending on what these memories are, who they pertain to. So that was pretty creepy. But the one thing I saw in that video that made me be like, oh my God, they really might do this one day, was when he did he was drunk and he was about to drive, and they were like, you can't drive, your blood alcohol content is XYZ. And you know what I mean? Those firewalls for people who possibly have issues or, you know what I mean, hit and run. Would they get to a point of, microchipping people so that we can always report in their blood alcohol content to a parole officer or something like that? So that was what that episode made me think of. Because I always, Black Mirror is already putting it in real life application, but then just take it and like put it in, okay, the world we're living in today. Do we really think this will happen, or do you think this is something like our children or our children's children will see and we never really get to interact with it like that?
I always think when they start having those kind of things placed out there, they're already working on it. It's somebody working on this stuff, and they're just waiting to like present it. So they're just trying to like sprinkle it in there, see how we take it as a community, and have some people that be like, oh, I'll do that, because they even have like that thing where you can already what is it for? Like, where you can pay? Is it where you pay or with the credit card? Yeah, something like that. You can already like scan, which are
like the microchips, like microchipping themselves. I saw people microchipping for offices. Like if they like work in a super technical this and the third, they could possibly get microchipped so that they never lose their access or things of that nature. Which is like, no, I wouldn't want my access to any building or my physical implanted in my body, and I definitely wouldn't want a pay system to just be installed in my hand.
Right.
That just seems like a recipe for disaster.
Right. Yeah, and even when we were talking about earlier about the mind reading and stuff like that, I was thinking to myself, that would be great for people who are lie detectors. Like, so now they're gonna be able to read your mind and be like, oh yeah, they're definitely lying. Like, no, that is not how that story went at all. So I can see them doing something like that. Like, you go in for questioning, and then they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna hook you up to this machine. Yeah, we're gonna know real quick if you're lying or telling the truth.
That makes me think of another episode, which was Playtest, where the guy had the fancy game system testing, and they put the little thing on him, which kind of looked like an Oculus to me. They put the little thing on him to kind of read his codes and everything like that when they implanted the microchip. And then he lived as if the virtual reality was through his own eyes and not like through the Oculus material that they had in the show. So that was really creepy because I think that people would definitely be microchipped if they know that they can get an advancement on a game that nobody else can play.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be all over Twitch. And now we got a whole batch of people
that's trying this out and just, okay with it.
Yeah, being the test dummies for this. And then the last one that was very creepy was season 3, episode 6, Hated in the Nation, where it started off just kind of showing these people and showing that, they were hated in the nation for one thing or another, whether it's writing a book and people don't agree with the content, or one guy, it was like what's that show? What is that show? That's crazy. The singing competition shows? American Idol.
Yeah.
One show, it was like an American Idol type show or something of the sort, and the guy was just really mean to this kid that was trying to perform or do his little dance. So he was one of the targets. So they had these ADIs, which are autonomous drone insects, and they were these little bees, these little metal bees running around. And in this episode, what activated the bees was it was a hashtag like death to whoever. And they found out that the AI machine, it was started by the government for something different because the bees are going to be extinct soon-ish. I hope not. There's that, fingers crossed, all of the things, but it was stemming from that, where bees are extinct in this time and we still need these flowers pollinated, so we just have these fake bees that go around. They have these paths so that we can have pollination. But somebody was hacking into that system and they were using it for the death to thing. So it was like a competition based killer bees. It's basically a competition where people would do their hashtag death to whoever they didn't like, and then they would vote on people every day, and whoever the top person was out of the top 5, that's who the bees would go and activate to kill immediately. So that was crazy for me to see, because it's like, wow, we're literally on the brink of a bee extinction. So I don't think that we're too far off for people from
them trying to find a solution. It's always them trying to find a solution, and then the solution just going south.
Yes, because there's always somebody that's just as smart as the creators who can hack it. So that's always a downside to it that we really have to think about, because they can hack that system and send it out to go kill people every day, and nobody has to get their hands signed. So it's like, who do you convict on this, that these killer bees are doing this? You know what I mean? It's a lot of wiggle room that could occur.
Gray space.
A lot of gray area in there. So those were the things, the Black Mirror episode and Megan, even movies like Terminator or iRobot, they show us the dangers of AI. It's just a matter of us truly paying attention, and if we can do things about it as a government, making those copyright laws or making certain things illegal or banning certain things, because it could go left real quick. But hey, the world we live in.
We'll soon know, or we won't. We'll see. I always wonder if it's going to be in my lifetime or if my kids' lifetime.
Exactly.
It's coming fast, though. Yeah, it's coming really fast.
But that concludes this episode, season 3, episode 1 of the Hood Health Report. Make sure you follow all of our social media pages, Hood Health Report on Instagram and Facebook, Hood Health Pod on Twitter. And make sure you follow the YouTube. We'll put links of everything in the bio, in the description. Anything?
New season.
New season, you guys. We're back.